Hey, Jared Murphy here. You know, as a deer hunter, it's very important to know how to identify trees. You know, trees play an important part of how we scout for deer and how we locate deer. Typically, most people know how to identify their oak trees. But sometimes when it comes to fruit trees that grow wild, it's hard to identify them, especially when they share characteristics of a lot of different trees. So I'm going to show you a tree this morning that if you don't know it, you should know it. Let's walk down here in the field and let's go take a look at it, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Can you tell what that tree is from the distance here? I'm not zoomed in on it, but we'll walk up to it. That is an American persimmon. Let's learn how to identify this tree, because I'm telling you, if you have multiples of these trees in your area, they are dynamite locations to find deer. Alright, right there is what a persimmon looks like. That's a ripe one. You know, when you bust it open, they have a texture kind of like almost like a pumpkin inside of them. And if you don't believe me that they're good, they're very sweet. They have a different taste, but they are good. Persimmon tree, they almost look like they have alligator scales for bark. Real coarse, heavy bark. It's a dark colored tree. Typically they don't get much bigger than this. You find a lot of these growing along roadsides, fence rows, stuff like that. So if you hunt an area that has large fields, look around the edges of those fields. I kind of had to leave the last place I was at there. It was in a park and they were playing ultimate frisbee, so I was kind of in their way. But one thing I wanted to mention about the bark, yeah, it does look like alligator scales, but if you'll notice, they're real blocky, and that's what gives it that alligator scale appearance. So look for heavy, coarse bark that is real blocky. It's going to have a blackish appearance. As you can see, it's blackish over here. Gray on this side, but most of them are a real dark color. The leaves, even though this one's yellow, it's fell. See how the leaf is dyed black? That is a signature. That's a fungus that grows on that leaf that dyes it black. That's a signature look for a persimmon. So when you see the green leaves with the black dye on them from a fungus, you see the blocky bark that looks like alligator scales, and if it's got orange balls in it, it's a persimmon. Now, persimmon trees they're either male or female, so not all persimmon trees produce fruit. This one right here happens to be a male. It's never produced fruit, so just keep that in mind. Not all persimmon trees produce fruit, because it could either be a male or a female. Hope that helps you guys identify your persimmon trees when you're out in the woods scouting. Now, I know when you go down south, farther down south into different growing zones, there are different types of persimmons. I think there's like a Japanese hybrid. It grows a bigger persimmon that's actually like the size of a tomato. But here in southeast Kentucky where I live, we have the American persimmons, which, you know, they're typically about the size of a golf ball. They're sweet, they're delicious. Don't eat the green ones, only eat the orange ones. Because if you eat a green one, you'll regret it, I promise. Hey, deer love them, turkey love them, foxes love them, bears, coyotes, rabbits, raccoons, possums, you name it. If wildlife are around, they'll eat it. If you like that video, hey, give us a thumbs up. Leave us a comment. Let us know if you have persimmon trees in your area. Hey, and if you eat them, give us some recipes, man. I'm starting to learn how to make jams and stuff with them. Tell us if you have success hunting around them. I'd love to hear your comments. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell to get notified of all the videos that we're putting out. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the persimmon tree.